It happened again. Last Saturday, HPD Sergeant Chris Brewster responded to a domestic violence call when police say the suspect opened fire on him. He died less than an hour later. In this case, it was not the person being abused, but was responding, and adds to an already depressing statistic that 1 in 5 homicides in Harris County is related to domestic violence. The number of incidents seem to go up during the holidays, and as a result, places that normally take women who need a safe place are full. Emily Dawn Whitehurst is president and CEO of the Houston Area Women's Center and knows all too well about the challenges faced. Also joining us, Nina Arellano Robin, who stayed at the Houston Area Women's Center when she was 9 and 11 years old. Good morning to both of you. Good to see you again. Emily, we were just here talking about other issues relating to domestic violence, but as we're talking now, your center is one of the organizations that really is that safe place.
Yes, sir.
What are the biggest challenges you're seeing now as we're in the holiday season and these calls seem to go up?
So when people call, we have a 24-hour, 7 days a week, 365 days a year hotline, and we have trained counselors, and we want people to feel like they can call us anytime when they're in a safe place, when the person who's abusing them won't be able to know that they're calling, and then we talk people through what they're experiencing, and we have an assessment that we're able to do, so we can help assess how much danger are they in. Sometimes people don't realize they're so used to coping in situations where somebody is trying to exercise power and control over them, sometimes through violence, and they get used to just managing to keep themselves safe, to keep their children safe, and they may not realize how much danger they are in.
And you do this 24 hours a day. You're getting calls around the clock. What's
Absolutely.
the biggest issue as you manage that call number that you have to deal with year in and year out?
Well, I will tell you, the hardest thing that we face is when people call and we can tell they're in danger and they want a safe place to go. They need immediate refuge, and we cannot provide it. That is heartbreaking, it is scary, and it is unacceptable. And this community together needs to find a way to provide safety on demand for people who are ready to get out and who need a safe place to go.
We'll talk a little bit about what some of the options may be going forward. But Nina, first of all, under what circumstances were you at the Houston Area Women's Center?
It was my father and my mother. They had not the best relationship, and we sought shelter there when she had had enough.
How did it impact you, you think, along the way as you grew up and grew out of that circumstance?
Well, as a child, I guess you really don't know how to process it. And I feel like throughout the years, it's made me very aware of how to not be and what I do not want. And, you have to, growing up that way, you have to be the change. You have to change, and you have to keep that path going, because you don't have to be a product of your circumstances or environment.
Do you remember that when you were there at the Houston Area Women's Center that there was this feeling of, okay, it's going to be all right, or at least I'm safe for now?
I actually did. I think that there was a bit of normalcy at times. You go in there and it's not, it's not the fighting, it's not the arguing, it's not any of that. It's just peaceful. And to this day, I just think about the women there that helped, and it made a big impact on my life, and which is why I'm doing this.
Well, and that is it goes toward the goals of what you do. You talk about wanting to have people in a safe place. Texas Council on Family Violence has a report they call the Texas State Plan.
Yes, sir.
I do some reading about this
I'm
stuff
so
here.
glad.
The report indicated that of all the people subjected to family or domestic violence, only 10 to 25% will even seek help, which means that there are a lot of people out there in danger, don't know it or know it and don't want to seek the kind of help that you provide.
That's correct.
It's got to be kind of frustrating to know that that many people need help and won't reach out for it.
Well, they may not know about us, which is why I'm so thankful that you're here. And they may not feel like there's something that can be done. They may feel that they deserve it. So what we want to make sure people know is that it's not their fault, that they're not alone, and that help is available.
Nina, how did your mother find out about the Houston Area Women's Center? Do you remember that at all? You discussed it after the fact, or?
I feel like now, doing this, she's becoming more open and discussing more. So in a sense, I feel like I've already done what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
So yeah, she's doing well.
Some of the studies indicate that young people who are exposed to domestic violence situations oftentimes are more likely to have issues as they grow up as adults. They either commit suicides or they get into violent situations as well. How have you avoided falling into those kinds of situations as you've grown up?
My family, and just seeing how, you know, it can be normal and what not to do and what I don't want. And that feeling as a child that I felt, I would never want. I have kids, so I would never want that for my kids.
And that seems to be one of the things that the Houston Area Women's Center does as well. It not only provide the safety for them, but provide opportunities for them to grow and get better out of those abusive situations, correct?
Absolutely. So one of the leading causes of homelessness is domestic violence. And when we ask why people leave, why people don't leave, part of it's because there's no real viable option out there for people. So what we think, our approach is not just immediate refuge, but it's ongoing support so that families can actually get to a place where they can live self-determined lives free of violence. And I want you to know, and Nina, I'm so thankful you're here sharing your story. We work with hundreds and hundreds of children every year, and we see that transformation in their lives and believe we're making an intergenerational impact. I want people to believe that this violence is preventable. The Center for Disease Control says so. We know so from the work that we do. If you provide the right kinds of support, people don't need to go back to violent situations, and children who've been impacted can make new choices. They need not be more likely to become a victim or a perpetrator if they get the kind of support that we provide.
When you come out and you speak out about the situation that you were in and how it's been so much better as a result of the Houston Area Women's Center, what do you hope people will gain from what you say about your experience and how it was able to help you and your family?
That there's light at the end of the tunnel. You know, when you're a child, you see nothing but dark clouds. You know, dark clouds, everything's dark, and there is a rainbow at the end of the dark clouds, for sure.
You have other organizations that do similar things, and you do provide safe space. They also are finding issues with finding enough beds to deal with this. What do you think the ultimate solution is going to be in all of this?
Well, we're going to need to build some more safe housing. We're going to need to be able to do that, and we were able to get some support from the Houston Endowment to develop a strategic plan. So we have a big initiative to expand our capacity for emergency safe housing, with the understanding that those safe beds will also be able to provide some ongoing support. So not just in that immediate moment, but to design an intervention that will allow us to work with children and to work with the parents for enough time where they can actually establish independence.
The people aren't against doing things to prevent domestic abuse, so it would seem to me that that would be one of the easier sells to try to. But
I agree. So get ready, because we're coming.
Well, I put together. We're all coming. We're all going to work in this together.
We're going to make sure that
boy.
when people call our hotline and they need a safe place to go, they get one.
Good deal.
You just wait.
It's a good thing to try to do, and I know that with your support, we're going to make that happen.
We're going to make it happen.
I put together a list of centers offering beds in our community, and we'll put that on the Newsmakers page of click2houston.com, so you can go to that if you need that. And of course, I'll put all of the information on the Houston Area Women's Center as well. Emily, thank you for coming in.
Thank you
Nina,
for having us.
Thank you for coming in as well. Good luck as you continue on with your babies. Babies?
3.
Wow.
I have a big baby and a little baby.
Congratulations on that
you.
as well. Thank you, Emily. I appreciate it.
Thank